Cole, the short yardage situations, direct snap, like how fun is that for you to get a chance in there?
Yeah, it's fun. Kind of ways to, Luke was telling me to manufacture some touches, which is sweet. So, and then, the sneak. I mean, now I realize what Justin goes through on those sneaks. I mean, you get popped on those things. So, anytime you can take some hits off for Justin in those situations, I think that's a good thing as well.
Is that the concept? Is that the logic of doing this? Is you're 20, 30 pounds heavier? Let's throw you in there and you take.
Well, yeah, I mean, and a defense maybe not really expecting that. You hit it quick, and if you look back on the film, they stem late to it, and it's just we're just quick enough to be able to get that yard. So yeah, I mean, part of it is surprise. Part of it, obviously taking hits off of Justin too, which is a good thing as well.
When was the last time you did that?
High school, yeah, I played some quarterback in high school. Yeah.
When you went back and looked at the film of the first touchdown to you,
Yeah.
I'm curious about the play fake that Justin made
Yeah.
and how he sold it, and then the block you got from St. Brown once you caught it.
Yeah, I mean that's a play we've been working on for really back to OTAs, and then when you're able to run the ball, we've been able to run the ball the past couple weeks, and you're able to get good run sell, and Justin obviously with a great fake there, and then EQ just a great block to get me in the end zone. So just well executed all around.
Cole, the sweep you had when you went back and looked at that, what was
Yeah.
your review of kind of the end of that play and seeing
Yeah.
that guy?
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, getting me on the edge on some smaller guys, knocking it forward. So I know Coach liked that a lot. So it's just ways to kind of get a big body on a smaller dude and kind of get me with a full head of steam going forward. So Kari had a great block there. If you look at it, handles the 9 tech really well and then works up to a backer and gets me on the edge. So yeah, just another well executed play for sure.
Cole, all the different manifestations of offenses and coordinators that you've seen in your short time with the Bears, was that the most comfortable or productive you felt in a game? Like, was that your best?
Yeah, I think, no, definitely, in terms, obviously in the red zone being used like that and being used off of, run action and all that stuff, and then, getting handoffs, playing quarterback for a play. So, yeah, definitely unique, and I think, we've been figuring this thing out, dating back to OTAs, and we're still continuing to figure this thing out, with everybody involved, figuring guys' strengths out and things of that nature. So, yeah, a lot of fun yesterday, for the offense, and obviously, we got to finish it out there at the end, but, a lot of creative things going on for sure.
With having the touchdowns you've had this year, do you think back to last year? And how did I not have a?
No, I don't. I've moved on from that. I've moved on from that. Yeah.
Cole, growing up here, the history of quarterbacks with this franchise. There's a certain buzz going around town now with what Justin's been able to do the last 2 or 3 weeks. Are you guys feeling it? Obviously, you've seen him put in the work, but seeing him get rewarded and seeing the progress, how does that feel in the room?
No, I mean, that's been great. He's been the same guy, since he's gotten here, which has been really cool. Just keeps coming to work every day, and, we know the type of guy he is. But, his confidence in himself, that has never changed. And now you're just seeing, some really big splash plays on the field. He takes off, man. It's special. So it's pretty fun to watch. When you're on the field, you just get out of his way and let him do his thing. So, but yeah, he's special when he got the ball in his hands for sure.
You guys had the ball twice last night with a chance to go ahead in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
What would it mean to convert there?
Well, I think that's the next step, right? I think, we're putting up points, and the past 3 weeks we've been able to do that. But I think if we want to, be a championship team, like that's the stuff. That's what the NFL is. 2-minute situations, end of half, end of the game, executing in those situations. So that's the next step for us for sure. Being able to win those games, those shootout games, and yeah, I think that's the next step for the offense.
You guys have been pretty good at the end of the half and the start of the third quarter lately.
Yeah.
Is it the same skill needed there at the end of the game, or is there a difference?
I think it's a little different. I think when you're in those situations, you can still kind of stick to really just running your offense and knowing they're going to be in their base stuff. And obviously, I think Luke's had great halftime adjustments all year. So, the coaches get a quick look at what they've been doing, and you get a plan coming out knowing the first, 10 plays or so of coming out in the second half, and you're able to kind of scheme that stuff up. So it's a little different between that and at the end of the game when you got 2-minute situation and, it's known passing or, they know that they can allow some yards and things of that nature. So, but like I said, I think that's the next step for us in winning those games for sure.
You were a friendly and familiar face for Claypool last week when he got here. Do you have any way of kind of contextualizing what those 6 days were like for him to come in and try to immerse himself in to be able to play a game on Sunday?
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, we've been learning this offense since back in April, and to come in on 5 days, whatever, 6 days, and try and really get a whole game plan. We were definitely helping him out there for sure, but I mean, you're going to see him just play faster and faster each week as he gets more comfortable with the offense. So I mean, that takes time, and that's a hard thing to do, to step in. I mean, he played a lot of plays, given he's just been here for a little bit. So I'm sure he's got a lot going on still between moving stuff from Pittsburgh to here, and but he's a professional. He'll figure it out for sure.
In what ways have you been able to be helpful to him away from here and just getting settled? I don't know if there's.
Yeah, I think there's just a comfort, like we were hanging out after the game, things like that, like just a comfort in knowing some guys, between obviously the guys that he went to school with that are on the team. So there's a comfort in that sense for sure. He knows who to go to for certain things, but yeah, like I said, he'll just continue to get more comfortable, and you'll see that on the field for sure.
How many Chicago sports baseball caps do you own?
A lot. I own a lot. 20 plus for sure. Yeah.
No White Sox hats.
No.
You guys have been big believers in Getsy from the beginning, but
Yeah.
now that you're on this roll and things have developed, at the end of a game, even though it didn't work out yesterday, is there a certain belief or enthusiasm, I can't think of the word, but that you feel knowing that he's calling the play, that he's in charge? It's like kind of having the wind at your back a little bit.
Yeah, I think, and I was telling some of the guys, like talking to some of the tight ends, like I think he's got a really good feel. Like you can sometimes when you're in the huddle, you get a play call, you're like, oh yeah, hell yeah, like that's a great time to call this, things like that. So yeah, he's got a great feel for all that, and like all the players are really believing in that. So yeah, there's definitely a good feel to it that he has for us, and how the game's flowing. Yeah, so that confidence has been building, and we've had it from the beginning, but it just continues to build as the weeks have been going on.
Cole, for you personally, where do you feel like your game has grown the most over these last 9 weeks, 2 months?
Yeah, I mean, I think I still think, like, if you look at myself last year, and I know like people don't love talking about the run game stuff, but like my run game blocking has been great this year, and I've been really proud of what I've been doing on film in that regard. I think my separation routes has been great. Not all the time has it really worked out where we've been able to hit it for whatever reason, but that's been going well for me. And I think at the end of the day, like as we've been getting more comfortable with this offense, you can kind of see guys starting to execute more. We're executing better in the red zone and things like that. So it takes all 11 on offense. I'm not a defensive end going one-on-one against a tackle. Like you don't get those, and it's just win your matchup type deal. But everything's got to click around you. But yeah, I think when I look at those two things, with the pass game and the run game, I've seen a lot of growth for myself from last year.
Well, as an extension on Mark's question about Luke, he seems to have a coaching calm about him where even when the moments were rough, he was kind of level-headed about where the process was headed, and when they're high, kind of how do you describe who he is for you guys collectively as a group, and just kind of say.
Yeah, no, I think him and Coach have both been like that, and they've been steady regardless of what's going on, kind of keeping level head, and whether it's a bad first half or a bad series, just kind of making sure we stay on track. So when you got guys like that that are staying calm in the moment, it gives a lot of confidence to the guys on the field.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Trev. Y'all had a few shots at Tua yesterday. We all had a good pass rush, had him in the backfield. He slipped out for one reason or another. What's the key to finishing those plays? Is it execution? Is it something else that didn't allow you guys to finish some of those plays?
Not necessarily. Sometimes the play goes your way, sometimes it doesn't, but we can't really just harp on the past and, the mistakes that we made. It's really just looking at the film with our coaching staff and going in and seeing, rushing four is one, 4 players is one, and just playing off of each other and, hopefully coming out with different results.
Because of how quick Tua is getting rid of the ball and because of their obvious talented wide receivers, does it sometimes seem impossible when they get into rhythm like that?
I wouldn't say impossible, no, sir, but, it is challenging, especially with the quick pass, and, they got chippers and things like that, but, we still have to watch the film and reevaluate the things that we can do better, individually and as a team, and obviously reach for different results.
Pittsburgh 4 touchdowns, and then you guys stopped them on 3 straight drives near the end of the game. What changed? Were there adjustments made, or was their mentality different, or how do you account for that?
I think we're just, we're mentally and physically, we can take that a long way. Fourth quarter overtime, we're We have a lot of that. So it's really just a matter of we know it always comes down to a fight. Regardless of the first half, we're going to sustain. We're going to keep fighting. And, that's just what the results were. Had we done better earlier in the game, then, the results may have been different. But, as a team, the only thing you can do is look at the film and see where you can get better.
How much did you feel the absence of Roquan Smith in this game?
Roquan's a great leader, great person, even better teammate. So, obviously his presence not being on the team was felt. But, we have young guys. Jack Sanborn, he came in first start, and, he did tremendous. And he has things he has to get better at. I have things I have to get better at. As a defense, there's things that we have to get better at. But, it's just a matter of putting those behind us and, taking the things that we can to get better out of those things.
Whether it was yesterday or the Cowboy game or even when you were in Minnesota, giving up points in the first half, obviously you don't want to do that, but just the fact that they're touchdowns.
Yes, sir.
What can you guys do to try to minimize the damage the best you can in those situations?
Honestly, it's just doing the best that we can, executing the call at a high level, handling our responsibility, executing the hits principle on tape. There's plenty of things that we can do to get better. And, it's adjustments also. We got to adjust on the fly, and it's just us working as a core, everybody working as one.
Why do you think you guys are better at the end of games than you were at the start of games?
Our coach pushes us to a high level mentally, physically, and I feel like that sustains us through a lot of games, and I think that showed up throughout our tape this year.
Season now, how do you think you guys as a defense are executing on the hits principles that Matt and Alan want you to be executing on?
Not to the standard that we should be. Most definitely, I can start with myself. There's plenty of things that I can get better at, but I feel like we hold each other accountable. We come in, we watch the tape. We, like I said, hold each other accountable, and we point out the mistakes that we made. And it's really just a matter of executing the call and playing it at a high level. And I think, we touch on those subjects. I think it'll be a different outcome the rest of this year.
So, Trevis, how will you get better? Like, you're in midstream here. You've obviously been putting all the work in. And when you're in the middle of a season, what do you do? Are you going to adjust? Are you going to do anything differently, or just do what, work harder? How do you get better when you're in the middle of a season like this?
I wouldn't even say it's doing anything different. Our staff has installed in us the his principle, and that's just what it's going to be. It's nothing more, nothing less, and we're just going to keep fighting to the end, and eventually the cup will crack and we'll pour over. But until then, it's not doing anything different. It's executing the call, hustle, intensity, getting takeaways. That's a big thing, and playing smart football.
Travis, you've been here long enough now to know that 30 points, that ain't common around here. To get that 3 weeks in a row, how fun is that to watch? Just sitting on the sideline watching it, but also how comforting is it as a defender to understand that you're gonna get some offensive support?
It's it feels amazing, honestly, man. But right now, defense is giving up too many points. It's offense is taking care of us. Putting points on the board, and if we handle our job, then it puts us in better situations. And it's just a trickle effect, honestly. It's like I said, offense is playing lights out right now. Defense, we got to get it together, and it starts with me personally. It starts with everybody being accountable, and that's what we practice and preach around this facility.
Trevis, to Herb's question, does it feel different now compared to like the last couple of years where I think you guys would go into games thinking we better hold them to 17 points or 14 points to have a chance? Now you have the offense giving you an opportunity where if you guys played even decently, you would win a game like yesterday.
Yes, sir. I know I'm sounding repetitive here, but it's just a matter of us executing. We can't control what offense does, can't control what special teams do, but we can only control what we do as a defense. And, we have to execute better. We have to continue to hold each other accountable and just keep on fighting the fight, honestly.
You mentioned accountability a bunch. Now that we're mid-season and kind of like in the thick of things, what does accountability look like when you're holding each other accountable mid-season here?
If I'm loafing, a coach calling out my loaf, a player calling out my loaf, it's not just all on the coaches. It's coach, player, coach. So it's going to come down to, when we're wrong, we admit to it. When a coach is wrong, or if he is wrong, then he admits to it, and we find a way to get over that problem so we can get different results in our defense.
A day like yesterday when you're tending to your business and you're on the sideline, how are you able to keep track of what Justin's doing, and how did you ultimately process the day that he had when you got to the end of the night yesterday?
Man, it's really just, watching the game, honestly cheering them on and seeing the results of the play that he is making on the big screen majority of the time. And, I saw the records and the tremendous performance that he had, and it was amazing. It's amazing to witness something like that, and even better to be on the team in that moment. So it's just, it's phenomenal.